Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Telling Tales. I'm Matt, your game master for the Symbaroum series. Hi, welcome. Good to see you. We are running the Throne of Thorns campaign. Finally, we've been dodging around it, and we're running the main campaign of Symbaroum. Last week was the first episode, and it's all kicked off in Thistlehold. And this week, we're going to deal with some of those consequences. But before we start bringing players on, and before I start going into all my promo stuff, as always, let's say hi to our stream manager, John, who tinkers away behind the scenes, moving around cams and images and doing rules lookup and moderating chat and all that good stuff. Hi, how are you today, John?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Matt?
It was a weird cadence, but I own it. It's fine. Yes, I'm good, thank you. So yeah, if you see John pop up on screen, don't worry. It just means something's gone horribly wrong. So let's get the promo out of the way. If you look below, you'll see a number of links. You'll see links to our Twitch and our YouTube. You're watching on one. Please check out the other and give us a subscribe and a follow and all that good stuff. There's links to our social media, links to our Discord, where you can join up and talk about all things telling tales, all things role-playing in general. There's links to our Patreon, where you can go support us if you like. Sling us a little bit of extra money there in return for some tasty treats like character creation videos, access to the patron-only area of our Discord, GM notes. The list is endless, but it's mostly those things. We run 3 weekly ongoing series, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, starting each of those evenings at 8 o'clock BST or 3 o'clock EST for our American friends on the Eastern Seaboard. And Mondays is Call of Cthulhu, Tuesdays is currently Blades in the Dark, and Wednesdays is currently Symbaroum. That's this. We also run a monthly one-shot on the first Saturday of every month, like a one-session story, hopping over various different systems, the most latest of which is the new Free League edition of One Ring, which we had a blast with this past Saturday, and the VODs for that have started appearing over on our YouTube. We've got a whole load of them from earlier in the year. If you want to check them out, we've got Alien, Troika, Morkborg, The Expanse, Honey Heist, Fiasco, and many more, but mainly just those. And we also run a fortnightly Symbaroum show over on the Free League channel. But I don't know if I want to get you into that right now, unless you've got a lot of time to binge, because the finale is this Sunday. If you do have the time to binge, do it. I expect you all to have watched the first 6 episodes in time for the 7th one on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock BST. Okay, that's all the promo out of the way. Let's start bringing on the players, and we'll do a little recap, and then we'll get straight back on with Wrath of the Warden, which is this part of Throne of Thorns. And firstly, we're going to bring on Chris. Chris plays Steo, former town guard, former infantryman, current grumpy tanky soldiersman. Hi, Chris.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. So you had returned to Thistlehold from your traumatizing success in the various adventures you were on before, which included like the Copper Crown trilogy, Fever of the Hunt, Bell-Tolls of Castor, a bunch of other stuff. Tell me how we picked up in one sort of rainy autumn following that adventure.
Well, in an absolute genre-defying twist of sheer innovative genius, we started off in a pub, and we were simply enjoying our pint and catching up with, not so much catching up because we've been drinking buddies throughout our little downtime, but a goblin lady turned up and gave us a tube. A scroll of sorts, asking for our attention at another bar to discuss an offer that was of utmost importance and quite critical.
Yeah, as you say, like standard stuff, and of course it proceeded in a very standard fashion. So you went off to the Fern Tavern and met your new contact.
Yeah, I mean, it proceeded with me trying to get the rest of the party to burn the feckin' letter, because nothing good happens when you get stuff like that. But we met with this cryptic young lady who seemed a little bit nervous, to say the least, and told us that there was a job to be done, and that our rewards would be pretty massive. And she asked us to name whatever we desire. And in typical late stage capitalism, the one thing in all of fantasy any of us actually desire is an actual home rather than rental hell for the rest of our lives. So each of us asked for a house, and she said, sure, no problem. And then the alarm bell rung.
Yeah. The alarm bell at the north gate. She sent you off to investigate what that was, and looked a little wary and weary.
She whispered
about the
as we
possibilities.
left. She whispered as we left that it might be the elves, or it was the elves.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But turns out it wasn't that. And to talk about what it was and what happened at the North Gate, let's bring on Mike. Mike plays Anton, a Theurg of Prios, holy man, flailer, sometimes healer. And Mike, tell us about the North Gate and the happenings there.
There's a big crowd at the North Gate because the warning bell ringing at the North Gate is a pretty rare occurrence. We made our way up onto the sort of the battlements to look out towards Davokar and see what was there. And we saw two colossi, which I think you described as like kind of giants, like, I don't know, 15 foot, 18 foot, like ape-like creatures. But they're made of like kind of plants rather than
absolutely. They're like, I always think they look like oxen crossed with apes. In fact, John, if it's not interrupting your character art binge, you could show us exactly what that scene looked like while Mike carries on and describes what happened.
These two colossi were being ridden by two witches, and it turned out that Anton needed to provide a bit of translation. So the captain of the North Gate, or captain of the town guard, Captain Marvello, and the party kind of went forward to speak with them, and they kind of wanted entry into Thistlehold. One of them, which called Gadramon, asked about whether the well has spoken. He asked, has the well spoken? And they believed that there was a source of potent corruption in the town that wasn't necessarily the well itself. And Captain Marvello didn't know whether it would be appropriate for them to come into the town, so he went off to go and ask Mayor Nightpitch about that. They are waiting patiently. In the meantime, we returned into the kind of boundary of Thistlehold, and then some more stuff happened.
Some more stuff did indeed happen, and to help us with said stuff, let's bring on the third player. Let's bring on Sam. Sam plays Ascarai, our resident changeling scout, ranger, and all-around bowsman. Sam, what went down next?
So we were running after the captain to try and... I think we just wanted to say something to him quickly, but we didn't manage to catch him. And as we were crossing Toad Square? I think so.
It is, yeah.
There was basically an incredibly loud, horrible noise. I think you described it as like a bell ringing and breaking at the same time. Maybe that's wrong, but
yeah, no, that's about right.
It's and it basically seemed to affect everyone quite badly. A lot of people seemed like actually hurt by it. I think Anton suffered a little bit, but for the most part, the party was okay. And then very shortly afterwards, there was some kind of, I don't know if it was exactly an explosion, but like a rush of kind of wind and dust from the area that we'd just been at the Fern.
Yeah, and a great kind of like cracking and tumbling and general disaster sound, and like a shaking underfoot as well.
Yeah. So we kind of figured out that that possibly is the Fern, and we should get back there, and we started heading that way.
Absolutely, and obviously, then your travels back to the Fern had no bad things happen, and no incidents. Obviously, this is just an unfortunate short series of events. So, to tell us what happened after you made your way back to the Fern, let's bring on our final player of the evening. Let's bring on Stephen, who plays Elindra, sort of former Templar recruit, and a new member of the party. Stephen, what did you come across on the way to the Fern?
Yeah, we just strolled back to the Fern and everything was fine. No, there was chaos on the streets. There were buildings collapsed. There was dust everywhere. Very chaotic scene. And through the dust, we could see people and families struggling, fighting against what at first seemed to be other people. But actually, when we looked more closely, there was something wrong with them. They were kind of twisted and misshapen and corrupted. So we rescued the townsfolk from these monsters, mostly Ascarai, to be fair. We just kind of
Ascarai was mowing them down.
We sort of mainly stood back and let the arrows fly, but you know, I managed to get in and attack a few of them, and kind of chasing around alleys trying to find people that had escaped and try and see if they were kind of okay. And in confusion, I think we sort of lost track of where the Fern Tavern was, because the shape of the town had kind of changed somewhat. So we're near to the tavern, but we're not quite sure where we were. And we had rounded a corner and found another couple of these corrupted creatures, which, as I recall, had some pets on chains as well.
Yeah, well, the corrupted creatures are the pets, essentially. So yeah, you've rounded a corner from an alleyway into a dust and wreckage filled, like it looks like a courtyard that was kind of between alleyways, you know, around the back of an area, around the back of a load of buildings, and within it, as you say, are like a couple of these ravening clan beasts that have had their arms kind of like however they became abominations, their arms are kind of weaponized into these bone blades, and they're sort of gurgling and howling at the air and look fairly animalistic in nature, although clearly probably used to be human. But these ones, unlike the others, had they all had collars, spiked collars around their necks, but these ones are on the end of chains being held by what look like definitely more human individuals who've still undergone some of this corruption, but they do look more human, and they are wearing kind of recognizable barbarian style leather and fur kind of armor. So they certainly look a bit more human, but they still have those kind of bone blades in their arms, and they've released the chains on these clan beasts to bound towards you, and we're going to hit straight into combat, folks. So, John, if we could get initiative up for the party, and I would like clan beasts and beast clan warriors, please.
So
there are 2 of each of those.
Can I just vocalize at any point, or does it have to be during my turn?
No, you can just vocalize before the battle begins.
I would like to shout, Ascarai, please take on the handlers, and if you would indulge an old man, could everyone stand behind me for a moment?
Absolutely. There we go. And Ascarai is going to be the first who's able to take action. As I said, there are 2. So the clan beasts are like the ravening, gurgling creatures you fought before. The beast clan warriors are these ones that seem a little bit in control, but quite fundamentally the same, only wearing some armor and seeming just a little bit more human and less kind of misshapen, with fewer sort of horn-like protrusions and odd ridges and things like that. Ascarai, I'm guessing you're standing where you are and you're firing 2 arrows, because that's your special move.
Yeah, that is correct. I think I'm going to listen to Stio. He's the one who knows about warfare and that kind of thing. So I'm going to shoot at these the Beast Clan warriors.
Okay. Well, their defense is a +3. So take a +3 on your stats before you roll.
Okay. So I'll need an 18 or less, and I got a 15. Nice.
There we go. So give me that damage roll, please, friend.
I rolled an 8 + 1. It's 9 damage.
That is not too bad. It is, however, reduced by their armor because these ones have armor. You get the impression that they've got kind of some kind of layer of quite toughened, almost scaly outer skin as well, which you think is augmenting their armor somewhat because your arrow was kept from diving in too deep, but like a bit too much than you'd think was appropriate for kind of the leathers one of them is wearing. It howls as your arrow strikes true into its torso, but also doesn't seem terribly inconvenienced.
Okay.
So there we go. And did I note down there? Yeah, one adjustment to make actually to note is that since last week we've read the errata. So a slight change that we'll be making is from now on, pain thresholds and corruption thresholds, you have to exceed them, not equal them. So it's just a difference of one, but I think it's significant. Yeah, and I assume you're making your second attack probably against the same target.
Yep, I will do. So again, I need less than 18. I got a 1.
That's a hit. That is a perfect hit, in fact. So I believe that is a plus. Is it plus D4? Is that right? Does that sound about right?
I think it might be plus D6.
I think it was a D6.
You may be right. I have rather foolishly got my Symbaroum cheat sheet open.
It says D6 here, yeah.
Yeah, then that is exactly what it is.
Okay. I'll D10 and D6. I got 11 plus 1, 12.
Nice. Very nice indeed. So with a 12, that's modified. Perfect. Yes, the Beast Clan warriors are kind of like dashing behind the Clan Beasts, which are bounding for you on all fours, sort of leaping across the ground, digging those bone blades in and giving great sprays of dust up as they pitch themselves forwards. The Beast Clan warriors are charging at you more like a human would do. And it takes one arrow in its torso and the other follows directly in its neck, and it sort of stumbles forwards, a mad gleam in its eyes, and then pitches down onto the ground, trembling slightly. Yes. And we had... Do you want to use... no, you can't use a movement action, right? Because that's what you give up for your things. That. So, yeah, absolutely. So, Elindra... I believe you still have your Revenant Strike active.
Yes, I think we decided that for combat purposes, this was a continuation of last week's scene.
I think so. I think that's perfectly reasonable. So why don't you go ahead and give me your action?
If you want to be kind to your good pal Chris, because everyone's got a chance to use their cool skills except me, you can delay your action for the first turn if memory serves.
I believe so. I think that then is for the rest of the combat a change in the initiative order.
I believe so. Yes.
Then I will stand behind Steo and wait my turn.
I mean, that does mean they go first because they're not going to delay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you just doing this to get your free hits on them when they come in range?
100%. I'm rolling. Okay, so let's strip it off. I get 2 free attacks at these gentle friends, and I'm doing a D10 on each if I hit, which I probably will because it's critical fumbles only. So, D10 plus 1. So we're working under the assumption that I don't kill both of them pretty quickly.
I mean, there are 3 of them coming forward, not 2.
All 3 of them. Yeah, I still get a free attack against all of them. Because Polar Mastery at Adept level is actually a little bit disgusting.
Surely you only get a free attack on them if they engage you.
No, anything entering range.
Okay. But are you all stood in a single file, if you see what I mean? Like, when anything coming within range?
Yes, this is the level 2 one. It's
Polar
ridiculous.
Mastery.
Yeah, Polar Mastery.
Is that in the advanced or in the core one?
It's in the core, yeah.
Okay. It's just it confuses me that it says anything within range when range isn't really a concept in the game.
Maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I've had on my sheet for some time now. So
is that adept?
It is.
Yeah, all enemies are coming to range of melee combat. Oh, whether it is the enemy you engage as a character or vice versa is irrelevant. See, that says to me that engagement is required.
Okay, I'll accept that, and I can change my polar mastery around, and then.
But you know what? I mean, I'm probably going to say that 2 of them are going to engage you anyway. So just to make you happy. So, but having said that, Elindra, do you want to?
Unless we desperately want to retcon this one, I'm gonna listen to the old man and stand behind him.
Sure. Well then, John, can you move Elindra back to between Steo and Anton, please? Lovely, thank you. So it's the clan beasts first, and you know what? I will say, Steo, that the 2 clan beasts come at you. I'll give you that. So how about you get your free attacks on them? They're at a +5. So yeah.
So this is anything except 20.
Correct. Well, 20 is still a hit, but it just has other.
I was rolling 2d20 for some reason. I think something to do with the previous game. I rolled a 7 on the first hit.
Okay, so what's the damage there?
The damage is 8. 7 + 1.
Okay, that is over its pain threshold. Do you want to knock it down, or do you want to get another hit?
I think I'll take the other hit, given it doesn't really...
Go for it.
A 12, once again, is acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the damage was 2.
Well, lucky for you, that's exactly what it was. Before I narrate this, do you want to take your next hit on the other one?
Sure. The first hit is a 5. Sorry, the hit is a 5. Oh, 7 damage again?
7 damage, that's over its pain threshold.
And I will go for the kill.
For the free hit, yep, go for it.
18. Skirting the edge of danger.
And the damage?
And 7 on that.
Okay.
And so I think something you will notice is that Steo is not doing the traditional thing he's been doing the first part of this, the first campaigns we've been doing, which is very much an infantryman fighting. The stance he's adopted seems a little bit more unusual, something you've not seen him do before.
A bit more aggressive. And skirmish like, yeah. So 2 of the clan beasts come dashing towards Steo, who kind of holds in place for them and then swings aside as they try to make contact, taking a couple of paces away to one side, jabbing out once, twice, thrice, 4 times. With his spear, puncturing the clan beasts that sort of roll around, gurgling on the floor before being still in a very large pool of their own ichor. Wiping out these enemies, folks. This is the difference 50 XP makes from the start of our very first Symbaroum games. Remember them? When it was basically just L's character carving up entire groups and everyone else just sort of flailing in the background.
Or
literally, in the case of Anton.
Or go back and watch episode 0 if you want to see what starting characters get done on by
sure.
modern enemies.
Can we remove the clan beasts there, please, John? Thank you. So the Beast Clan Warrior is another matter. They are going to charge at Elindra, and they are going to swing those bone blades in their arms at you. Can you give me a defense roll, please, at a -5?
Ooh, -5. So defense is 13, -5. That's going to be, I'm going to get what, below an 8?
8 or less, yeah.
8 or less. I get a 1.
Hey, there we go. That is a perfect defense. So you get a free attack. These guys are going to do nothing. I take an attack at +3.
+3. Okay, so strong's 15. I'm trying to get 18 or less then. 18.
Ooh. And give me that damage roll, please.
So let's see now. That's going to be D12, and we've got the D4 because
of your Revenant Strike, because your sword is wreathed in dark flame.
11.
Okay, then. So that is removed by that. And you see, here's where it's interesting, because if we were doing it like we were last week, that would hit its pain threshold, but it does not. So there we go. But yeah, the thing dashes towards you, making sort of semi-human noises, but you think there are some words at play in there, but you don't really recognize them. And speaking of which, Anton, make a cunning roll, please. But before we do that, let's carry on describing this little section. And you step to one side and draw your blade across its chest as it's kind of furiously swinging for you with the bone blades, and unsuccessfully so. And now you have your turn to make an attack. Oh no, Steo has in fact a turn to make his attack. So, Steo, do you want to try and make it 3 for 4?
Let's hope so. I will use my movement action to flank and take advantage here.
Yep, absolutely.
And what was the modifier on hitting these beast friends rather than
it is a +3, and you also have an advantage because you're flanked, right? So it's actually a +5, so it's a guaranteed hit. But...
And actually a +1 because of the spear.
Sure,
but it doesn't matter. I roll a 19. It nearly did matter.
Nearly did matter. So give me that damage roll, please.
So it's D10, which is 4, +1 for the spear is 5. Do I get bonus damage for flanking? It's only critical, isn't it?
No, yeah, you get a +D4 for flanking damage, yeah.
5, 7 in total.
7 in total. That's knocked off by that. Okay. You step around behind the creature, which is furiously still kind of spitting some kind of wretched words in its growling, gurgling tongue. And you manage to draw your spear across the back of its knees, leaving it kind of like tottering forward and flailing further. Anton, how did that cunning roll go? Yep, got it.
I made it.
Okay. This creature is speaking a dialect of the barbarian tongues that you haven't really heard before, but it's close enough to the barbarian sort of common tongue that you can recognize it. And it is saying the following words: for Halaban, for Helianor, revenge tastes of human flesh.
Okay. Do I recognize Halaban or Helena?
You certainly recognize the name Halaban. Halaban was the chieftain of the Jezite tribe, which was the barbarian tribe wiped out by the Ambrians when they took Ambria.
Right, okay. Oh, that ain't good. Well, I'll just store that one in the old memory bank for the time being, because I guess there's some pressing concerns right now.
A few, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Am I in range to flail?
You are, but Alindra has a turn before you. Because Alindra hasn't gone yet, even after carving someone up. Your attack there will be at a +3, please, Alindra. Assuming you're attacking.
Yeah, I certainly am, yes. I need an 18 or less. I get a 19. But I have two-handed force, which I think if I miss, then I can make a new attack roll.
Yes, that's correct. It's a new attack roll at a lower damage, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's try again. 13.
Okay. So what is the damage on that? I think, is it like a D6 or something?
It's a D8, if I can see this font correctly. Yeah, I think it's a D8. But I guess that's not modified by anything. So that's just a 7.
It won't be.
That's a 7.
That is a 7, you say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the thing is kind of furiously flailing at you now, kind of toppling forwards as Steo has kind of cut the tendons on the back of its knee, and you swing out almost wildly over, over swinging to one side of it, and then quickly cut back with the back of the blade, and it slices through whatever used to be this creature's jugular, and it topples to the floor, dead. And there is a moment of not silence in the this kind of back alley courtyard, but at least a dimming in the amount of howling and gurgling around you, but only momentarily, as the dust is starting to settle now, and you can see that across the courtyard from you there is another way through, which has kind of like some wreckage of buildings toppled over it, but is definitely kind of navigable with a little bit of kind of just jumping over some fallen beams and the like. And you can see kind of shadowy shapes in that coming from that alleyway, kind of pouring out in a ravening fashion towards where you are in the courtyard.
Parties there. Do we want to fight an army? I mean, how many of them can there reasonably be?
I don't know where they're coming from.
Probably the pub. Knowing our luck.
Or the ground.
Or the ground.
It will be mere moments until they are on you. And also, can everyone make a vigilant roll, please?
I made it.
That's
Ooh,
20 from me.
Yeah, 20 from me as well.
I feel so much better.
Now it's Symbaroum. Yeah, I failed.
Askerite, did you succeed?
Yeah, I got it too.
Yeah. Okay. There are the other three of you are very focused on these shapes coming towards you through that kind of other alley entrance to this courtyard. Askerai, you can hear footfalls behind you. They sound hard and fast and heavy, but very regular. Not like a kind of desperate, monstrous scrabbling.
Okay. I guess I would turn around and see if I can see who is coming up behind us.
Sure. You see three shapes coming along the kind of the alleyway that you came down. It's difficult to tell in the blowing dust, but it is starting to settle. You don't think these are abominations.
Okay.
They seem to be each holding a longsword for a start.
I'll say that I think we might have help coming from behind.
Don't trust the luck this close to the forest.
Okay, so is anyone making any kind of like moves or doing anything in the moment you have before you're set upon again?
Is it even reasonable that we could get to cover and conceal ourselves in this amount of time?
I mean, there isn't really any cover here, so to speak. It's a fairly open courtyard. I suppose you could dive into some wreckage on either side of it, but then you'd be kind of trapped under wreckage.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can try if you want.
I think instead of that, I'll just kind of take a couple of steps so I'm not in the direct path of this potential confrontation that might be occurring.
Absolutely.
I would like to cast Blessed Shield if I have a moment.
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead and make your resolve roll and take your temporary corruption if it works.
Oh, Anton. Oh, thank God.
It does work, okay. And yeah, remember to take your temporary corruption.
Yeah, made it and rolled 2 temporary corruption.
That's not bad.
I
Elindra, Askerai, you guys doing anything?
I'd just make sure that I'm stood behind Steer.
Yeah,
Operation.
Well, behind is relative at this stage. The city guard, are they two-handed swords? I mean, Steel hasn't seen them yet, so
they don't tend to be, no, for what it's worth. Okay, so 2 things happen more or less at once. First is there's another group of, you see the clan beasts first kind of scrambling on all fours over the wreckage. through the dust and the kind of choking air towards you. You see 4 of them pouring over and kind of coming into the courtyard, and behind them are 3 of those Beast Clan warriors, howling in their own semi-audible language. But also, at the same time, 3 individuals emerge from behind you in the alleyway. They are clad in relatively heavy armor, which is covered in sort of fairly plain grey tabards with no heraldry. They kind of have helms on and long swords, and they They immediately and quite professionally form. Basically, they dash round the back of the group of you, and they form a little line alongside Steo.
Oh, interesting.
In preparation to meet the onrushing clan beasts.
May I have a contacts Thistlehold roll to see if this kind of behavior has ever been known, or if this rings any bells for me?
No. No, I don't think it's appropriate for a contacts Thistleholds. Stephen, what did you take a contacts thing?
I have contacts. We didn't quite get round to
nailing down what it was.
Yeah, I mean, we were thinking probably Church of Prios or Temple of
Church of Prios Temple. Well, do we want to take that, and you can get a cunning roll?
Sure. What are we saying here? The church or the temple?
I mean, they're the same thing. So,
okay, okay.
Church of Contacts, Church of Prios is broad enough.
Okay,
it covers both those things.
Let's do it. I'm trying to get a 10 or less. I get a 14, so that was
okay, never mind. Yeah, John, can you bring up the initiative order, please? And yes, it will reset. Each time it comes in, Alindra will go in at the correct point. So, there's obviously this large group of beasts and warriors coming towards you. Some of them are moving towards the 3 individuals who've reinforced you, though. So realistically, it's actually the same combat. 2 clan beasts and 2 beast clan warriors are coming towards you, and I'm going to say, and this time I'm gonna roll for it because otherwise I find it jarring and annoying that everyone rushes at Chris and he can kill them and then the battle's over. So I will kind of randomize how they're coming at you. I think
it's happened once.
Yeah, I don't want it to happen again. We'll do that, and I think it's fair to say that Ascarai stood a bit further back than you. So I'll try and reduce the chances of them coming at him. We'll see how we do this. So the 2 Beast Clan warriors will both be coming at Alindra, and the 2 clan beasts will both be coming at Alindra. The Beast Clan warriors are coming at Steo, and probably not that. So that rolls on Steo and Anton, 1 each on them. They're coming at. So with that in mind, so there's 1 coming for Steo, 1 warrior coming for Steo, 1 warrior coming for Anton, and the 2 clan beasts are coming at Alindra. So with that in mind, Ascarai, what are you doing?
I'm going to shoot at the beast clan warrior that's going for Anton.
That seems like a good move. So why don't you give me a roll at a +3, please?
Okay, I need 18. I got an 8, so that hits. D10 damage, and they roll a 2, which is a 3 total.
Okay, and give me your arrow just seems to be kind of crumple on impact with the warrior's almost snake-like skin. You taking your next shot at it?
Yep. I rolled a 16, so that hits. And the damage, I rolled a 6 + 1 is 7.
Okay. So that's certainly a little bit better. Yeah, your arrow sinks in, but you think only slightly into the warrior's thigh. It certainly seems inconvenienced because it gives a kind of gurgling, aimless bellow as it's charging forward. But it's definitely still aiming to make contact with Anton. So, and you get no movement action because you're double shot. Elindra. Oh no, yep.
I will use. It doesn't happen yet, but I have my new marksman ability.
Ooh, yes.
Which means that when it moves, I roll an accurate modified by its strong, and
correct.
If I succeed, it can't move. But if it
yes, excellent. Well, we will remember that. Yes, it's like a pinning shot.
Yeah.
Now, as everyone who's played Dragon Age will be familiar with. Elindra. So you have, I believe, 2 clan beasts coming towards you.
That's correct.
You can move and attack them if you want, but you can also move and attack any of the others that are trying to engage other people. But you will also be engaged by the clan beasts on their
still
turn,
coming for me. I think. I mean, I'm sort of picturing it that we sort of have Steo and me and these kind of 3 strangers standing in some kind of line formation. So
I think you and Anton said that you were a little bit further back, but Steo can't block it's a largish courtyard. He can't block them coming at you.
No, sure.
So,
but I just we have a formation of sorts. So
of sorts. Yeah.
So I'm not inclined to go and immediately break that. So I think I'm just going to stand my ground. I don't have any particular skills to fight 2 things at once. So I will fight whichever one gets to me first.
Sure. One of them comes back kind of bounding and howling towards you. And yeah, I think you will have to move a little bit forward to meet its charge. Otherwise, you're just waiting for it to hit you.
Yeah, okay, sure.
But yeah, absolutely. Take a shot at one of them coming towards you. It's a +5, so
+5.
You will hit. It's just whether you roll a 20 or not. Or
I get a 14. So
okay. Give me that damage roll, please.
Fantastic. For the purposes of active effect, are we still in the same scene?
Yes, we are. It will end after this fight, though, I think.
Sure. That is 13 damage.
Nice.
Nice. Because how much do you roll? Out of curiosity,
that's a D12 plus a D4 for the Revenant
plus the
strike.
D4. Yeah,
I got a 12 on the D12.
The clan beast comes bounding towards you, and with a great leap off the ground, it kind of like almost dives towards you. The bone blades kind of scything from either side as it's howling mindlessly, and the spiked collar glistening slightly even under all the dust. Elindra just, you've been taught kind of, one-on-one sword fighting fairly comprehensively, and one thing is when your opponent comes in high from above, drop down. And you just quickly drop to one knee, bring your sword up, rake it across the creature. And as you come to your feet to face the remaining one, you shake yourself slightly to free yourself of the gore that's poured down you from the creature's abdomen. It's, it literally just, Anton, it just flies past you and crumples on the ground. It's dead before it hits the ground. And now we get the turn of the other clan beasts. Or the other clan beast, the one coming from Elindra. So, Elindra, can you give me a defense roll, please, at a -1?
Certainly can. Let me see. The defense roll is 13, so -1. I need a 12 or less. 15. Oh dear.
Okay. Can you give me an armor roll, please?
Yes, that is a 1. It's a D8.
Not bad.
3.
Okay, so in doing so, as you come up, maybe you underestimated the speed with which the other one was following behind, and it's just slams straight into you, and you feel a rent open up in. I think you're wearing mail, right? You feel a rent opening up in your mail, and the bone blade, it doesn't kind of pierce into you, but it just draws across kind of like your collar and over your shoulder, and leaves quite a deep cut there as it kind of rolls around you and is sort of flailing around madly trying to finish you off. That is 3 toughness.
Okay. That just subtracts from the current.
Yeah, just
value,
subtract
right?
from your total. Yeah. Okay, the Beast Clan warriors now. So, first off, let's have the one attacking Steo.
Am I being
because
engaged?
You are indeed being engaged, young man. So, get your first attack in on that Beast Clan warrior, please. The one coming for you.
I hate being a bit of a murder hobo, but sometimes just having a nice skill break where everything combos together, just so satisfying.
It's absolutely fine. I think it was on me in that first combat that just because I was like, I felt like it was somehow unfair if I didn't throw them all against you first. I don't know why I thought that. So yeah, but I prefer kind of random engagements if it's as chaotic as this.
Anyway, that's a 2, which is not a 20.
And give me the damage roll, please.
Oh my god, 10 on a d10, that's 11.
Ooh, that's nice. So that comes down a bit to that. And therefore, sorry, did you say how much?
11 in total.
11. Sorry, my mental arithmetic is crushing me slightly. As the Beast Clan warrior comes towards you, kind of bone blades held in a bit more of a rational fighting pose, not quite like it's not fencing with them or anything, but it's definitely kind of coming towards you slower and kind of giving little feinting blows towards you. You step back into the side. And kind of double spin the spear around, hitting it across the face once and then spinning it back to carve a deep score across its face. It's definitely still there and still angry, but it's going to be more difficult for it to hit you now that its eyes are slowly soaking full of blood. So
I'm shocked that wasn't pain threshold. These guys are serious.
It wasn't quite pain threshold.
That's scary
because of the new rule. But there we go. And I think it's good to increase that by 1 because it does make it a little bit snowbally like you suddenly hit higher and now you're hitting everything twice instead of once, So I think it is wise to do that. I mean, these things do have armor as well. The Beast Clan warriors have armor, so it was mitigated. And speaking of the Beast Clan warrior, it's now going to try and strike at you to get its revenge, Steo. So can you give me a defense roll at a -5, please?
I can. Did I update my defense? Oh, no, sorry. My protection changes with the plate. The defense does not. So I need to roll 5 or less. 14.
Okay, and then give me that armor roll, please. And also, while you're at it, before you... Well, you can make the armor roll first if you want, but I would quite like you...
Oh, not a resolute roll.
No, not a resolute roll. I would like you to give me a roll against just a 50-50 roll. No, it's not 50-50. Oh, it's actually terribly low. Just give me a roll against 5.
Roll against
You're rolling
5.
for it, not for me, but I don't roll on principle in Symbaroum.
I rolled an 18.
And what was your armor?
My armor is a D10, and it's coming right up. 6.
Okay. You feel the bone blade slam as you kind of like try and spin on one foot away from it. You're not as agile as you used to be, and obviously this is a relatively new style of fighting for you as well. And as you spin away, you feel a bone blade kind of impact on your plate. You don't think it hurts you, but you get the impression that if it punched through, it would be bad news bears. Yes.
One thing to point out, I've taken a trait called Elderly for this campaign, which means if I fail my first roll of the day, all subsequent rolls are at -1.
Of the day, not the session.
Okay. Thank you for that.
But we should have remembered that for when you made your first roll last week, but we didn't, so it won't apply. But yes, that's no toughness damage. Your armor took it.
Nice.
And
very satisfying.
Could be a different matter. So, Anton, this other Beast Clan warrior is coming for you, even with its an arrow in its thigh. Can you give me a defense roll at -5, please?
I think I've got a roll of 1.
Nice.
No, 19. It was close, but I didn't quite make it.
No, not quite. Not quite. So, in that case, can you give me an armor roll, please? And obviously, your Blessed Shield comes into play here as well.
3 in total.
3 in total. Okay. Can you also give me a roll? No, I'm going to be lazy. I'll roll for these guys. It's a rare example of an enemy needing a roll, but I won't force you guys to make it. I'll do it myself. Oh, and it makes it. How unfortunate. It comes towards you, a kind of gnashing mass of leather armored, twisted muscle. The bone blades lash out at you and gouge straight through your theurg robes and leave a deep, what feels like, you don't know if it's a broken rib or a gouge across your rib, but your side suddenly erupts in fire, and that fire doesn't go away and starts to spread, and you feel a sort of sickly nausea go through your body with the sudden impression. As a lore master, I think you probably have a very quick realization that you think whatever this thing is has daubed poison along the edge of its blades. Oh, yeah, Sam was supposed to roll accurate to see if this creature could move. We might have to retcon the last 120 seconds.
I don't know what it's modified by strong.
It's modified by its strong. Well, let me find that for you, Sam. Sorry, I didn't notice that. Yell out if I don't do that next time. It'll be a -3 then for you.
Okay. So not great. My accurate is a 9, so I need a 6, but not impossible. I rolled an 11. So no.
Cool. No retcon. In that case,
sorry,
Anton, can you take, please, 5 toughness?
Ooh, ouch!
Which is, just for our purposes, is 3 for the wound and 2 for poison, and it will also be 2 poison next turn, but then it will end.
So, because I've got my blessed shield, like if an abomination or undead attacks me with melee, I get like 1d4 of damage back to them.
Ooh, that's cool. Is that like a relatively new thing that you've got, or
no? I've just never been
never been melee. That's fair enough.
While I've had the blessed shield up,
and it
ignores their armor.
Ignores their armor as well. Nice. Go ahead and give one. Oh, hang on. I think weirdly,
Errata, is it?
Then they're human. They're not abominations.
Oh,
a human, not abominations.
Okay.
Soz.
Well, rude.
Big old soz.
What's your pain threshold? Are you up?
Oh, that's a good point.
I've got 4 points left, so
it won't be like points left. What is your pain threshold?
Oh, my pain threshold, sorry, is 4. Shit.
Yep. So you've taken that, and I think I would like it not to get a free attack on you, but to knock you prone. Anton spills back down onto the ground. It's up to you whether you're howling from the wound delivered to you, or whether you're bearing it in kind of stoic priestly silence. But yeah, it's bashed you to the ground.
Okay.
Steo.
We aren't the only ones who are hitting harder. Oh boy, that one that just got Anton is going to get got with a flank. I don't think I'm engaged. No, I didn't.
You are engaged with the other warrior.
Do I break engagements because Anton looks like he's been spilled?
I mean, you will take a free attack if you do that.
Yeah, no, I think I'll go. I think I'll focus on my task and trust my team.
Is still there. Surely Ascarai can fill it full of arrows before it.
Yeah, I will trust my team to do the combat thing. So again, I think I'm rolling on -3. Is it?
It is -3 on the warriors. Yeah, that's right.
But I get 15.
I thought it was
16 plus
+3.
1.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. It's +3, not -3. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So once again, we're rolling 20s or less. I rolled a 4, which is nice.
A 20 or less on a +3.
Yes, because also +1 for the the spear, but actually 19 or less
19
because I
or
don't get
less.
the other.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
the damage
anyway.
is the damage is 7.
Your damage is 7, you say. Well, unfortunately, that is not its pain threshold. You're just caught in a kind of skirmish with this creature now, and you're kind of weaving around each other slightly. It's coming at you with the bone blades. You're dodging back, and you manage to sort of puncture its torso with a jab of your ancient spear, but still not enough to put it down. These things are quite robust, and seems not in the slightest bit afraid or reluctant to try and finish you off with its bone blades, even at the cost of its own life. Anton, what are we doing, friend? Are we trying to? I believe I do have the rules here for getting back to your feet somewhere. Maybe not. I think, isn't it something like a quick roll to get back to your feet and still have an action left?
Okay.
That seems about right. Yeah, a quick roll to do it as a minor action. Yeah.
This could be difficult because my quick is only 7. 6.
Hey,
Nice.
there we go. So you managed to scramble back to your feet. The blessed shield doesn't require concentration, does it? It's just a.
Oh, actually, it does. Yeah, it does. So I need to roll resolute against.
No, it doesn't. It just lasts to the end of the scene.
Oh, does it? Oh, I think I have holy
aura.
Yeah,
holy aura
okay,
that requires concentration. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
It makes sense because you're being hit, and it's like, go away if you're hit. It's there to protect you from being hit. But yeah, you still have an action left. So
I'll flail
the hell out of it
wildly.
So that is hitting at a +3.
Okie doke. Oof, I don't make it. I rolled a 19, but because it's an odd number, I do get a D6 on it. I think
that's what it is. Yeah, it's your new level of is it flail mastery?
But it's a jointed weapon.
Oh, it's the jointed
thing.
keyword on the nice heavy flail you've got now. Yeah.
So that's one point of damage to it.
Okay. Well, that's good stuff.
I'm contributing.
Yeah, you leap back to your feet, and you kind of use the flail to clear space to do so, and it kind of hops back, surprised at what it thought it was about to pounce on you and rend you limb from limb, but instead you're fighting back, have regained your feet, and have at least made it a little warier, if not done any damage to it with the flail strike. So we are back round to the beginning. Ascarai, I'm seeing arrows in the warrior against Antom's future.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm definitely going to take 2 shots at it. Well, 1, and we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I need an 18. I got a 10, so I hit. My damage is a 1 + 1 is 2. Doesn't seem too great.
No, that won't do anything against the toughened flesh and leather armor.
I will quickly knock another arrow and try again, fearing slightly for Anton. I rolled a 1.
Hey, that's good. So that is a perfect hit. So add a D6 to your damage roll.
Okay, D10 and D6. I still only got a 4. Ugh.
Oh my god.
But 5 damage.
Rough. 5 damage. Okay. So your second arrow kind of mostly deflects off its toughened flesh, but you do see where just like a little wound has gouged itself in it before the arrow came away. So you've done something, but you don't think it's very much. Rip Anton. So, Elindra, you are facing the only remaining clan beast.
I think I'll probably attack it with the sword.
That seems like a good thing to do. Yeah. So that's attacking at a +5. So it only matters if you roll a 1 or a 20.
I roll a 2.
Okay. Give me that damage roll then, please.
Coming up. 7.
Was that with the Revenant Strike as well?
That was with the Revenant Strike, yeah.
Okay. Well, that is past its pain threshold. So you can either knock it prone or take another free attack.
I think we'll go for another attack.
I think it's pretty sensible when you're basically guaranteed to hit. Yeah. So go ahead and give me another roll for that.
That's a 10, so that's a hit.
And a damage roll.
Damage 9.
Okay. So with a couple of swift draw strikes across it, you drive the creature back, severing one of its forearms in the process, and then you finish it off with a swift thrust through the chest, and it tumbles backwards, too stupid and ravenous to know it's dead just yet. But you are now free. And given that you're free and you're the only one who's kind of well, Ascarai is as well. And I'll give him the opportunity as well. Why don't we give both you guys a vigilant roll? And you know what? I'll give, because I think Ascarai is somewhat distracted. So we'll give Ascarai a -2 on it. But Alindra, you can go without any penalties.
Okay, that is a fail.
I rolled a 5, so I made it.
You see that the three individuals who are fighting well to one side and kind of carving their way through their half of the assault, they are clearly trained, and you hear them kind of murmuring things through the chaos of battle that sound like invocations to Prios, and things that you've heard referred to by other Ambrians as battle hymns. As one of them is struck by a clan beast, you notice that the strike kind of dissipates in a sort of a glare, like a sun glare of visual flare that you associate with one of the cantrips that Anton frequently casts, that he has at the moment.
Hey, Anton, the real priests are here.
Perhaps these are Knights of Prios, but they do not seem to be wearing the heraldry of such.
Okay.
So that was Alindra's round. So we have, we would have the clan beasts, but the clan beasts are gone, so they can be removed. What we do have is the Beast Clan warriors. So let's go with Steo first, because that's the least tense. So Steo, do you want to give us a defense roll at -5, please?
Here we go, 5 or less. 8. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking. So why don't you give me a good old...
Come on, heavy plates. Don't fail me now. 6 in total.
6 in total. Well then... it's exactly the same as the other time, essentially. You're both kind of dodging around each other. You feel a bone blade impact into your side again, but your plate holds. So, no damage taken. Moving on to Anton. A defense roll for you, please, at -5.
Yeah, this has got to be a 1.
Oh, God.
I got 2 1s. I got 11. That counts, right?
That's twice
great,
as good. Yeah. No, it's not. So give me an armor roll, please.
6.
Okay,
Nice.
that's good. So it's the bone blades come for you again as you find your feet. It tries to weave around your flail, but doesn't do so to any great degree, and it strikes towards you, and you feel it would have caught you and at least tore at you if it wasn't for that kind of sun glare effect that I described. You feel Prios's warm hands keeping you safe as your blessed shield holds up against the strike. However, take that other 2 damage from the poison. Actually, no, you should take that on your turn. So, and that's quite important, isn't it? I think to hold off from there. But remember to do that. Hey, it worked out fine. Steo, it's your turn.
I believe I have some business with my engagement.
You do.
And again, this is 19 or less. I rolled a 6.
Excellent. And that damage, please.
And the damage is a 9. No, sorry, 8.
8. Yes, that is absolutely fine. The twisted barbarian opposite you, clearly frustrated with this back and forth and used to far more less resisting and vulnerable targets, leaps for you with a scream. You dodge to one side and kind of roll your spear back across your forearm and thrust through the crook, impaling it through its torso at the side, and it spins to the ground, dead.
Nice.
Dead, I say. So, Anton, now take that too. Oh, and Steo, you get your movement. In fact, I probably should have said that over Lindra as well.
Surveying the battlefield briefly, I will see that Anton is in some danger and will barrel towards the warrior dealing with him.
Absolutely. I would assume that Lindra would pretty much do the same.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. So this thing is surrounded. It's on all sides now. I think its days are numbered, but we'll let Anton try and get a strike in before we draw a veil over the combat, I think.
So I think I'm right in saying that I don't get a flanking bonus here, but like the other people would.
Yeah, they will. Bonus. They will do when it comes around to them.
Yeah. Okay. No, just checking. Cool. Right. I'll go for a flail. Make it
at a +3. That would be as well. Excellent. Give us that damage roll, please.
I just got to check. I think it's a D10 with my new flail. Yeah, it is
a lot tastier.
3. Not
3.
Right.
No, and doesn't in fact get through its armor, but you hit it, and that's what counts. You come forward and you spin the flail round. The heavy metal balls kind of crack into its face. You can't feel anything break, but it definitely drives it back. And as it drives back, because I don't want to just go, this thing's dead. And I don't want to kind of belabor the point, especially when we've had a lot of combat and are going to have a lot of combat. Spoilers. And it kind of staggers back, and as it does so, Lindra and Steo pounce on it from behind, striking, thrusting with their spears and swords, and the Beast Clan warrior topples to the ground in a welter of blood and limbs. And I think we can remove the initiative there. And for a moment, we're allowed to breathe. I'm going to draw a line over the end of the scene there. So any ongoing effects are cancelled, but at the same time, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, that also temporary corruption vanishes at the end of a scene, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So for a moment, there is relative silence in the courtyard, although you can hear the creaking and cracking of buildings. You can hear further kind of yells and screams at both ahead and behind you. And there's sort of probably all of you still have a certain amount of tinnitus from the sound of the well speaking. The 3 individuals who are there with you are kind of quickly like wiping off their blades. One of them has dropped into a prayer position and is kind of like carving the sign of Prios into the air and is muttering feverishly under his breath.
Ooh, do we reckon that might be the orb of healing?
I'm going to probably just collapse on the floor at this point and start to like lift up my robes and have a look at the wounds that I've got.
Yeah, I think I'll try. I think I'll rush to your aid and try and support you as much as possible and see if I can medicus in this situation.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and?
I think it's more thematically correct that kind of injury is treated by someone else rather than.
Yeah, sure. And if you fail, then Mike can have a roll as he kind of points out to you what you need to do or whatever. I think that's.
I'm going to use a herbal cure. And I roll against cunning, which is 11. 11. Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's a D6 instead of a D4 for the herbal cure, yeah. Not bad.
I don't have a list of how many I bought, but maybe 3?
Oh, yeah, probably. Oh, sorry. Who's rolling the D6 then?
I believe Anton, as the recipient, gets to roll the dice, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That's how we've done it before.
If you want
by convention.
Yeah. 1.
Oh, God.
I should have rolled. I should have rolled.
You definitely should have rolled.
I didn't feel comfortable in any part of that.
Antom's wounds are quite serious, and you do what you can, but what you can do isn't a huge amount. Also, John says he thinks you got 5 herbal cures, but I don't know if that's accurate. We can always check the VOD for last week. Mike, after Steo has made, in all honesty, something of a pig's ear of applying that herbal cure, do you want to take a stab at reseating it yourself?
Yeah, it's definitely all Steo's fault. That
getting
I'll
a poultice properly applied.
Yeah, let's give it a go. Oh, well, I make the Medicus roll, which is that's good
great
start.
That's great. But because you are yourself not using a herbal cure, I think we'll that has to be a D4 roll. I think.
I do have herbal cures. I did buy.
Oh,
some
then
in the
use
last
it. Then
session.
use it. Yeah, get out your own. Now you have to replace the mucky job that Steo's done.
I
Battlefield
object
butcher
to
that he
this.
is.
I object.
I rolled 5.
Oh, for
Much better.
Respectable.
Much better.
I get the
Much
sudden
better
feeling
than
I'm about
Chris
to get
did.
memed.
Well, recover. You've got 6 toughness back altogether. Then wonderful. You think it was more pain than serious wound, and you can definitely find yourself getting to your feet. As quickly as you want. Elindra and Askarai, what are you doing while this is going on?
I think I'd have gone over to Antom and Steo and kind of said, I think these people are from the church, but they have no insignia on them.
From the local father, do you reckon? Antom, you were scoping those guys out. Did they keep a wing of Templars?
There is definitely a branch of the Templars in Thistlehold.
Can I make some kind of contacts roll to see if I've heard of Templars that don't wear the insignia?
Yeah, sure. Give me a cunning roll.
That's a success. I needed a 10. I got a 5.
You have, not wearing the insignia means they're either not Templars anymore, like you, or that they're Templars going about private business.
They're off duty.
Or they're trying to look off duty.
Right, okay.
Black
Undercover
Ops Templars.
Yeah. You haven't heard of these specific individuals, although examining them a bit more closely, you can see they've kind of like shared glances with you, although at least one of them seemed to shoot you, Elindra, something of a distrustful glance, presumably because your sword was wreathed in dark fire. But one thing you do note is you would put good money that these 3 are brothers.
Okay.
They look very much alike each other with kind of aquiline features and each with kind of long hair that's sort of plaited for ease in battle. And they have kind of very similar stance, very similar features. They look like they're separated in a number of years, but they definitely look like brothers.
Okay. So, For my part, clearly we've all seen each other. There's not really any kind of getting away from that, but my intention would be to give them a wide berth, and I really want to have some conversations with some Templars today.
Sure, probably a good idea. Askarai, are you getting up to anything in particular other than mentioning to the others?
I'd collect what arrows I could, but mostly just that.
Good stuff. One thing I remember is that in just briefly back in the first session, near the end, Antom, you were asking if you wanted to examine the bodies of the abominations a bit, or was that may have been Askarai as well? Actually, no, Askarai did it, and I think you were talking about it, but we kind of were then like you were attacked and stuff. This appears to be a moment to breathe if you did want to have a look. Because there is, I will say, you can get something from the ability Ritualist if you pass a cunning test.
Ooh, let's do that.
And I know you have Ritualist, because that's how you burn yourself.
3. That's good.
Okay. Let's say it's while you're kind of like there, kind of on the floor and kind of like holding your side and breathing and letting the poultice do its work. You glance down at the body nearest to you, the body of one of the clan beasts. And you can't help but be overcome with the notion every abomination you've seen before seems not random entirely, but certainly like just kind of a random monstrosity in that, you know, like the copper crown created things that had like crown-like appendages and like just claws and stuff. But they seem to have had like the horns and the bone blades and just the way their bodies seem leaner and thicker. You can't help but feel that these have been Blightborn in a conscious and controlled manner. And there do exist obscure references that occur to you from reading in the past of rituals said to channel corruption and its effects into living bodies. These sources say that such fleshcraft belongs to the worst kinds of sorcery.
Yikes. Well, I think Anton's going to give a bit of an involuntary shudder at this point and sort of draw everyone's attention to the body and point that out. You're on mute.
Sorry. As you do this, lasted 1 hour and 22 minutes before I did that. As you do this, kind of the three brothers have kind of all stood up, and as you start to speak, one of them turns to the group of you, the one who looks the oldest, and says in quite a gruff voice, "Abominations are abominations. There are more to kill." And the three brothers march straight onward through the ruined alleyway that the creatures poured out of, and off into the swirling dust. Doesn't mean you have to immediately follow them or anything, so you can go ahead and say what you want to say.
6 swords is better than 3, Anton. Do we follow these ones?
Yeah, maybe we do.
Well, hang on. What's our target? We have to find the woman who promised us all houses.
If she's still around. And we need to get back to the North Gate at some point, but maybe not yet.
Look, there might be more people in trouble. Let's start moving. And again, he's on mute.
And Tom, as you get up and start going, are you going to mention your insights about these abominations to your players?
Yeah, exactly. Like, to be honest, I think I would have liked to have mentioned it in front of the Templar people, but they.
You kind of like half got through it, and they just cut you off. They weren't interested.
Yeah.
They don't care. They just want to kill.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll mention it to everyone else. And the language they spoke, it's a barbarian tongue of sorts. I didn't fully recognize it, but they made reference to getting revenge. I guess to getting revenge for the lands that Ambrians took. I can't remember the 2 names that they dropped.
The one name that you did recognize is Halaban. Halaban is literally referenced in the landscape of Thistlehold. Halaban's Ring is the name of that dangerous stretch of streets, and Halaban was the name of the final chieftain of the Jezite tribe who were purged by the Ambrians. I could be wrong, but I believe the idea is that Indaros is built on the remains of the Jezite sort of main Jezite settlement. You don't recognize the other name, which was, if I take a look, Helianor.
Would I know anything about general barbarian attitudes? Like, would I know if barbarians are still generally kind of angry about what happened to this lost tribe, or
it strongly differs from clan to clan, tribe to tribe. You know, like some of them hated the Jezites and were kind of fine with it. Others were allies, or they were just appalled that an entire clan was wiped off the face of the earth, as it were. So it really varies, and mostly just matches the general clan's attitude to Ambrians.
Okay.
Be time for regrets later. There might be people out there who need us.
Yeah. I can continue. Let's go.
Okay.
So I suppose, is there any geography here that starts to look familiar towards getting towards the bar?
Well, I will answer that, but before I say that, Stephen, you were going to say something there.
It was going to be largely the same as Chris. I was going to suggest that our priority is heading towards the tavern rather than following
Absolutely.
the Templars on unofficial business, which I will mention is that's what they appear to be.
Absolutely. So you proceed down this ruined alleyway. As I said, you have to kind of clamber over some fallen beams, move some wreckage aside in order to make your way comfortably. And the swirling dust is really starting to dissipate a lot now, blown away by the wind or settled on the ground. And after turning a corner and just emerging out of another very short stretch of an alleyway, everything opens up around you. And a terrifying sight awaits you. A sinkhole around 80 paces across has opened up and swallowed almost the entire town block. The block containing the Fern Tavern. Aside from a growing number of town guards, some other individuals are there that you recognize. The three brothers are there. And looking kind of across the sinkhole, you see two people wearing Ordo Magica robes standing there, and they're kind of looking over some one of the creatures on the ground, conversing in whispers. You don't recognize one of them, who seems to be a kind of like an older man, but one of them you do recognize, and she's standing over the other one with a sort of faintly cynical and disgruntled expression on her face and smoking a clay pipe. It is Euphrinda, who you have encountered before and who sent you on your quest towards the Tomb of Dying Dreams. And she is one of the Ordo Magica masters there. Other than that, there are a dozen town guards and citizens lying on the ground, along with a couple of the Beast Clan warriors. It is oddly quiet and calm around the gaping hole.
Can I look into can we see the bottom of the hole?
What you can see at the bottom is like essentially you can't see much because it's very dark down there, but at the same time you can see what seems to be a kind of like huge mountain of rubble where everything around here is like poured down into this gap and mounted up. There is you think you can't really, it couldn't really be scaled down except by someone quite good at climbing, but a relatively short rope would lead you down to one of the higher parts of the mound and then kind of further below. Not that I'm saying you want to do that right now. But it's all just wreckage and darkness down there.
It's hard to imagine she would have survived if she was still in the fern.
I agree. I think our property deal is over.
Didn't really want the house anyway. I was just seeing what the price was.
You didn't want to respond to the letter at all.
Yeah. Well,
I guess that's the decision made for us.
Do we owe Euphrinda there, or does she owe us?
I believe you do. You do not, because and I don't think either way, because a payment was made when you went, and also you were granted the rights to keep whatever you found there. And then also further sense of back and forth was engendered by the fact that Anton, I believe, returned the ritual book you found in the Tomb of Dying Dreams in order to maybe gain future favors from the Ordo Magica and a complete feeling of restoration there, because they were disgruntled with you in the first place because you'd left a book to be burned rather than recover it. That's about right?
Yeah. I presume that we also like informed Euphrinda of like everything.
Yeah, you had like a whole, debriefing, and they were. It's fair to say the Ordo Magica were unhappy with what had happened, but not in a way where they were blaming you because you just went and did the best you could. Also, incidentally, I don't suppose we covered it, but the three individuals who were the Order Magica who were there and who fled using your boats did arrive back, and you briefly met them as the Order Magica taught you about it. They looked quite ashamed of leaving you in the forest, but as you said, I think at the time you didn't particularly blame them because it sounded like hell was coming for them. So
I kind of blame them. I'm going to keep a small grudge about that.
That's fine. Well, we may encounter them again later, and we can go through that. But
I will go on see what you can find out from the master there. And Tom, I think you're in the book trade.
Yeah. So I'll approach Euphrinda and just kind of indicate the hole. Was this what made the noise, or was something that made the noise what caused this to happen?
Euphrinda kind of turns to you, mostly having been whispering with the other master who's knelt down looking at one of the Beast Clan warriors, and kind of puffs on her pipe a bit. Father Anton, you and your friends do turn up in the most dangerous of places.
Well, we had a fight our way here.
She kind of knocks her pipe against her belt and to empty it and tucks it through and says, "Which sound are you referring to, the first or the second?"
Well, the first.
We don't know what the first was, but it seemed to be coming from down further south in the city. The second noise, well, that's the hole. Tremendous loss of life, it would seem. Are you and your companions healthy?
Yeah, as healthy as can be expected. We have rope. I presume that we have ropes about us.
Probably, in some sense. The voice of the other master, who's kind of kneeling on the ground, and who I believe John has an image of, who's quite looks very old and quite wizened, but also oddly kind of like hale and hearty. And he kind of looks up and says, "No, you're not going down into the hole. Don't be a fool."
Well, there might be survivors.
He looks down in the hole and looks back at you and goes,
Well,
and is kind of going back to examining the body. Seems to have kind of dismissed you. Euphrinda kind of arches her eyebrows at you in an expression you never thought you'd see from Euphrinda, one of the most irascible people you've ever met, but in a kind of you must bear with my colleague kind of way. He's unreasonable. And as this is happening, let's pop back to the other side of the sinkhole for a second. And the other three of you have stood there, Steo and Elindra and Askarai. And as you're doing so, as I said, there are town guards and more kind of arriving every second. And you hear a familiar bellowing voice coming from one of the alleyways at the side, going, "Why are you all fucking standing around? Get a shitting barricade put up now, you asses of Prios!" Dirac, your friend, one of the only barbarians in the Thistlehold Town Guard, stalks into the area of the sinkhole. We haven't had him on screen for a while, so let's describe him a bit. He's very large, very kind of broadly built. He is muscly, but he's also just a big guy, you know? And he has kind of a mane of hair and a large beard, both of which are sort of badger-like in being black with white streaks through them. And he's just looking around, kind of like a town guard kind of gawps at him nearby, and he reaches out and just claps him hard over the top of the head and starts directing them towards pulling the wreckage over to try and build some kind of barricade around the sinkhole.
I think I'll detach and walk up to him. I have him down here as a friend, so I think we're on reasonable.
Yeah, you're in good terms. He's the one who, got you involved in the Mark of the Beast and stuff like that. Friend.
Sworn enemy at this point.
Yeah.
What's this, Dirac? What have you? What troubles caused now?
He kind of turns around and sort of glares at you briefly before his features soften a bit, and he says, "Don't ask me fucking full questions, Steo. Quick, help!"
Oh, am I getting paid? I'll say that, but I'm already working towards lending a hand.
You're getting paid in the protection of the fine men and women of the guard.
No, I haven't been a fine man. I haven't been a fine man in the guard for quite some time since they hired you, I think.
Everyone, or a lot of people, are kind of now attempting to help pull a barricade together around the rim, kind of blocking off all the streets and alleys and windows and doors facing the sinkhole. But it's a lot of work, and it's far from complete. While this is happening, Elindra and Askarai, what are you two doing?
I don't know.
Askarai?
I guess.
I think I'd try and maybe skirt the outside of this sinkhole, see if I could find any sign. Presumably things have been coming out. Askarai assumes things have been coming out of this sinkhole. So he's going to look for if there's any sign of where, a larger group of things might have left, where they might have been headed, leaving this sinkhole.
Sure.
Just see what you can find.
And how about you, Elindra?
I think my main immediate concern is just going to be putting some distance between me and the brothers, especially because everybody's kind of dispersed. So I will probably straggle along after Steo and make a show of helping to build these
kind of helping out with the barricade. Yeah, absolutely.
Until we can regroup.
Absolutely. As you do so, you kind of go kind of near to where Steo and Dirac are going about their business of both directing and helping with the barricade, and you help a couple of other town guards kind of and as you do so, you can hear kind of their hushed conversations happening, and you hear a few things. One of them is doubting the situation. Honestly, do you think this will help? If they return, those creatures, never mind what they are. I say keep building and kill all that show up. But did you see what they did? They dragged people down. Didn't even kill people. They just took them.
Spicy knowledge.
And so on. Askarai, give me a vigilant roll. Why not?
Okay. I'll need a 15. I got a 13.
Okay. As you're kind of rounding the barricade, you don't notice anything too much, although you don't kind of notice anything awry other than the obvious. But you do also hear people whispering about how the beastly creatures hauled kidnapped residents down into the abyss. But also, as you are sort of rounding on the other side of the sinkhole, you're quite near the Ordo Magica representatives and Anton as you do so. And you hear a noise like the clinking of rock down in the sinkhole. And the only other person who seems to notice it is the kind of older master of the Ordo Magica, who kind of stands straight up to his feet. And sort of looks around for someone else who might have heard that, and unless you're avoiding doing so, will make kind of eye contact with you.
No, I'll make eye contact with him, and then also look down into the hole to see if.
As he sees you look down, he kind of holds one hand up and howls, "Shush!" In quite a formal way, it has to be said, in the way of a classroom, perhaps. Rather than anything else, but he definitely does it loud enough that everyone in and around the sinkhole hears him. And all the town guard kind of go quiet, although Dirac looks like he's about to start swearing. Euphrinda looks troubled. What is everyone else's reaction to this? Obviously, Askarai is looking down the thing. Let's go round. Steo, what is your reaction to this?
I think I can put two and two together pretty quickly, so I'm going to pay attention to the hole, but ready my rope.
Okay. And Anton.
Yeah, just looking for any sign of movement down in the hole.
Okay. Alindra?
Yeah, same. Just stop dead.
Absolutely. Well, then, can everyone give me a vigilant -3 roll, please?
Yeah, I got a 3.
Nice.
Pretty much the opposite of a 3, 19 for me.
That is the opposite of a 3.
I needed a 7. I got a 5.
Okay. Anton and Alindra, then. Maybe it's the kind of relative calm near where you are. You don't have kind of like worry, well, you do. You have I don't know. It's not a reason. You're on completely different sides of it. I don't know what I'm talking about. But for whatever reason, you both hear what sounds like clicking and scraping as if something is clawing up the walls of the hole.
Well, it's definitely time to get a flail in my hand and peer over the edge.
Okay.
Yeah. Same.
Am I next to Eufrinda?
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
I might just whisper very, very quietly, be prepared to grab me.
She kind of like nods quite calmly at you and sort of loosens her, like rolls her sleeves up a little bit on her Ordo Magica robes. Can everyone now give me a test against Vigilant +3?
Success.
Yeah, success.
1 for me.
Okay,
Nice.
that's everyone then. Everyone is paying attention, and the closer you are, it's up to you how close you are and like peering over the hole, how much you see this. Emerging out of the darkness, coming up the mound and up the sides of the sinkhole, are a horde of humanoid but horribly twisted creatures that rush towards the surface with the aid of their long bone claws, jamming them into the sides of the sinkhole and tearing themselves to scale up the face of it and up into Thistlehold. You have one turn before they arrive.
How many are there roughly?
You cannot count with a single glance.
Lots.
At least tens of them.
In my best traditional guard's voice, I will be, "Town guard, mind the hole! Enemies are coming!"
Okay.
And then I will kind of grab Alindra and kind of tap Alindra and make to reunify with
Try and cross back
Anton.
towards the others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Expecting to fight, so readying weapons en route.
So
Sure.
we're working our way around to Anton then.
Sure. Yeah.
I will cast Blessed Shield.
Go for
it. 1. I've really
Nice.
cast Blessed Shield.
Really, it's so cast.
It's a shame we don't have any critical mechanics for spellcasting.
As opposed to so Embrace or so Travis. 90s kids will know what I mean.
And,
90s kids wish they
And
didn't.
dread it hideously. So Ascarai, you're the one left.
I think I'd try and I'm quite near to Anton. I think I'd try
Sure.
and reunite with Anton first and knock an arrow.
I am going to determine that because of the movement people have done, Steo and Alindra are 2 movement actions away from being proximate, i.e. fighting alongside Anton and Ascarai. Ascarai, you're still within bow range of attacking anything around Steo and Alindra, should you want to do that. And the horde reaches the top. A careless town guard standing at the shadow side of the hole becomes the first victim as she is pulled by the leg and falls into the dark street, screaming. And then the enemy appears all along the rim. So, first up, they're rushing up and attacking everyone, but the ones attacking you guys, the ones we're getting right now, there are 5 individuals coming for you in various forms. And again, I'm going to roll randomly to see who they're attacking. There are 2 clan beasts, 2 beast clan warriors, and there's also something new. Another more humanoid being, but taller and maybe a little bit more powerful and more human than the others, like a barbarian clan berserker, but warped and corrupted by whatever fleshcraft has been used on them. Unlike the beasts and the warriors, they actually have weapons rather than bone blades. They wear no armor, but they are equipped with great swords, huge axes, colossal clubs, and they come roaring out of the edge of the sinkhole, intent on committing as much atrocity as possible. One near you, Anton, roars at the top of its voice, and I won't ask you to translate because you're expecting what to hear, but it roars in its language, "Spare their lives! They will slave for Helianor or be eaten." And those will be referred to as Beast Clan Guardians. And there is 1 of them, 2 Beast Clan Warriors, and 2 Clan Beasts. And let's go with the Beast Clan Guardian first, which is going to attack. I don't know why I'm rolling a d6 rather than a good old d4, but there we go. That is going to go for Steo. So that's probably good. Let me just note this down. Steo. And then the Beast Clan Warriors are going to attack. 1 of them is going to attack Elindra. And one of them, the other one, is going to attack Elindra. And then the clan beasts. So this could be interesting if they're all on that side, but we'll find out, I suppose. The clan beasts are, 1 is coming for Anton, and the other is coming for Askarai. So quite spread out there. And they're kind of roaring up from the top of the sinkhole, and they're just using their movement action to come towards you. But obviously, you can use your movement action to just go and engage them anyway. Askarai, what are you doing, and what are you firing on?
I'm first going to fire on the one that is coming for me, I think.
That seems quite sensible.
These are a +5, is that right?
It's a beast clan coming towards you, so yes, that's correct. It is
Okay.
+5.
So ideally anything but a 20. I got a 19. That'll do.
That will do. Just about.
And on damage, I rolled an 8 + 1 is 9.
8 + 1 is 9. Okay. Well, why don't you give me... you haven't killed it, but you have gone past its pain threshold. I'm assuming you want a free attack.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely. So again, anything but 20. I got a 4. And for damage, I got another 8 + 1 is 9.
Okay. So you... you knew they were coming. You knew they were coming before you could see them, and you already had your bow, one bow knocked and the other ready, kind of like dangling out of the back of your draw hand. And as a clan beast comes over the top, gurgling and spitting and kind of just clawing its way along the ground towards you, you quickly lose 2 arrows, and you don't even register where they hit in the creature because it's still in the ground. There's no point looking at it. It's dead. And you move on with your second shot too.
And
You know what? In the fury of the fight, if you wanted to aim at one of the ones fighting Elindra and Steo, I think I'd make you do a vigilant roll first because it's chaos.
Okay, in that case, I think it would be hard to see. I'd be focused on the ones coming towards us, so I'd probably shoot the one going for Anton.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, anything but a 20. I got a 9, and on damage, I rolled a 1 + 1 is 2.
Okay. So clearly, there's only a certain amount of time for you to fire off arrows, and your final one towards this creature just scores a line across its back. But it's carrying on forwards, bounding and drooling in anticipation of sinking those bone blades into Antom's poor, tender flesh.
Does that deal any damage? If it doesn't deal damage, I
It
can't
does
use...
deal damage.
Okay.
It does deal damage.
Then I can use my marksman thingy.
You can, and you know what? Use that now before we forget.
Yeah. That's probably
so it's adjusted by its strong, so that will be a roll. There's no modifier.
Okay, and I need a 9 or less. I got a 4.
Okay, so that one cannot move. And does it just do that every round until it moves?
Every time it tries to move, basically.
Yeah.
It rolls until it succeeds. Yeah.
Okay. So that arrow that scored a line across its back also sank slightly into its shin, and it is basically like looks like it's scrabbling on the ground. Maybe it's not actually pinned on something, but it's, for whatever reason, its instinct is to get this thing out of it before it leaps further forward. So that's good. Elindra, we're on to you. You have 2 Beast Clan warriors roaring towards you with their bone blades.
Do, and in the one turn that I had before they arrived, I didn't specify that I was
reflaming your sword. Is it a free action though?
No, it's not. So
Oh,
we'll be doing without that.
is it? What kind of action is it though?
It's a combat action, and I think I'm going to use that for combat. So
yeah,
it's also a crowded square. And
yeah,
maybe sorcery is not the right term.
It's quite. I think that's why I hesitated before this began. Was that we're a bit out in the open here? So I think we're just going to go
strike at one of them.
Is closest, yeah.
Yeah, move and strike at one of them. So that is a strike at a +3. At one of these Beast Clan warriors, so one of the slightly more humanoid ones coming at you in their leather armor.
That's a solid hit. That's needed 18, got 11.
What's the damage on that?
That's just going to be my D12, so 5.
Okay. You strike out at one of them as it comes towards you, and you don't deal any significant damage, but you've definitely drawn blood because when you reel back, you see that there's just kind of some ichor dripping down its cheek. No significant wound.
Okay.
So the clan beasts. So we've already rolled for that one, and it's just pinned and isn't moving, so they don't get a go. The Beast Clan warriors, however, are going to get a go, and they're going to try and strike at Elindra. So give me a defense roll, please, a -5.
Oof. That's going to be a 8 or less, so we get a 1. Lovely.
Oh, well, that is a perfect defense. So not only do you defend against it, but you get a free attack on it. So feel free to roll another attack. And this is the slightly wounded one. So
fantastic. What was that? That was plus
3 on the attack.
So that's a successful attack.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do 3 damage.
3 damage. You manage to kind of parry and feint the bone blades as they come towards you. You don't think you actually strike the thing, but you certainly drive it off you. Give me a second defense roll for the second warrior attack.
Sure. I have the 2-handed force, which means that when an attack misses, but I don't know if that's
yeah. So make that attack again. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's an 11 attacks. That's a successful attack, but we're down to a D8 damage this time. A 1.
Okay. So again, you don't manage to break its defenses enough to wound it. So
okay. So
second defense, please.
I need. Was there a modifier on the defense?
Yeah, it's a -5.
Oh, then I fail.
Okay. Then give me an armor roll, please.
Yeah, let's do that. 6.
Okay. Well, that is precisely right. And also means their successful roll for poison means nothing. One of the bone blades tries to carve through your mail. You feel a ring pop, but just the pressure of the blow, which is enough and hurts like hell, and you're going to be bruised. But they haven't managed to penetrate your armor yet, thankfully. Moving on. Steo, you are facing a Beast Clan Guardian, or you will be on its turn if you don't engage it. But I believe if you engage it, you get a free attack first
Yeah,
as well. It
because
doesn't
that
matter who
works.
engages who.
Yeah, that is right.
So I'm assuming you're going to dash at it, free attack, attack.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bellow one of an old infantry kind of battle charge cry, and to kind of goad it as much as anything else and charge in and engage it.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, your its defense is just flat, so it's just a flat attack roll.
15 plus 1. Sorry, 15 unaccurate, but my dice is plus 1. 18 doesn't make it.
Okay, so that's the free attack, and then your normal attack, I believe.
Okay, better luck next time. The same number. Oh my god! Hang on, I need to check that. Did I actually roll that twice? I rolled 2 18s.
Yeah, 2 18s in a row. The thing comes at you, and you're used at this point to fighting more mindless opponents, but this one definitely seems to have more of its wits about it. And as you come towards it with the spear, it dodges back once and twice away from it as it's kind of it's circling its form with a huge two-handed barbarian blade, and what at first you took for kind of ravening rage, you see it's not, it's control, and it is spinning around it as a form, the blade around itself as a form of defense. You reel backwards, both of you locked in a sense of careful stalemate against each other. Yeah, but then it gets to try and hit you. So can you give me please a defense roll at a -5?
Oh my god. 2! Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, headphone users.
It breaks. It breaks that spin around its body and like basically drops one hand off the blade and swings it further out against you. You're ready for it. You've encountered this strike before. You knock it aside with your spear and you carry on circling each other among the melee. Anton.
Here. Yeah, I'll do a fight. Reporting for duty.
You're charging at the pinned thing and flailing the hell out of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then give me a strike at a +5, please.
Oh, I make it.
Nice.
No, I don't actually. I missed by 1. But I did roll an odd number. So that is something. So I roll a d6. I roll a 3.
Okay. Well, that's not nothing, and it doesn't have any armor. Yeah, you dash towards the one kind of scrabbling away at the arrow in its leg on the ground, and you swing with your flail, and it does miss it. But then you register it miss, and you kind of swing the end of your haft out and clock it across the face hard and leave it kind of reeling in the dust. Yes, you have heard it. So on to our second round, and there's a reason I'm counting the rounds. So 1 second, I'm just sort of calculating things. Yes, that is what I am calculating. All right, yeah. So we are back around to the beginning. And as we are, as you're like trying to fend off the ones who are fighting you, the more beast clans leap up from the edge. 2 more clan beasts and 1 more warrior, ready to engage you all. And let's see who they are engaging. I believe we have an informal rule of no more than 3 engagements on 1 human-sized individual. So once we reach the cap of 3 on, say, Alindra, I'll remove you from the running, right? So the first extra clan beast,
for example, yeah,
exactly. So the first extra clan beast, well, it does go on Alindra. So there we go. Yep, the next one. The next clan beast is leaping on to is jumping up and out towards Ascarai. And the clan warrior is going to jump out and strike towards Anton. So, yes.
Save me, Ascarai. You're my only hope.
So, Ascarai, yeah, you now have another clan beast scrabbling out of the sinkhole and dashing towards you. But you can also see that as well as facing the wounded one, the wounded clan beast, a beast clan warrior has emerged from the sinkhole and seems to be charging towards where Anton is.
Okay, I think I'm going to try and finish off the one that Anton
The one on the
just
ground.
yeah. That one.
That seems reasonable. So why don't you give me a roll at a +5, please?
Okay, I rolled a 5, which hits, and for damage, I got a total of 4.
Okay, that is not a kill. So do you want to use your second attack on it?
Yeah, I will do.
Crowd control. Very wise.
I rolled a 1. This is going to be a lot of wasted damage.
Sure, yeah.
So a D10.
You know what? I'm feeling generous.
Oh, good.
I'm feeling generous, and I'm going to give you your free attack from... oh, no, it's not a free attack. Sorry, it's just an extra D6. There, never mind. Yeah.
Generosity removed.
No more generosity.
Absolutely.
Okay, I roll 8 damage total. So not
Okay.
Not too wasted.
Yeah, Anton, you're just kind of like you're sort of registering this warrior leaping towards you from the sinkhole on one side and kind of flailing with your flail with the other with your hand, and you just register 2 arrows just into the one kind of getting up off the ground towards you, and it just kind of like gives a screech and a half-hearted swipe towards you and then topples back onto the ground dead. So now you've only got 1 to deal with, and you did really well with 1 last time. So I'm sure it'll be fine. Elindra, so you have 2 beast clan warriors on you, and another clan beast is dashing towards you.
Yeah, and I think we got to focus on the job in hand. So the beast clan warrior that I was fighting and hopefully injured a bit last turn. That is who I'm.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you maybe move your mic a little closer? You've gone a bit quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. How's that?
Great, thank you.
Okay.
But watch your breathing. Don't breathe, young man. Striking towards the Beast Clan warrior that's already slightly injured is going to be a strike at a +3.
Okay, that is a success. I got a 5. So we'll roll damage. 6.
6 damage. So again, you strike the Beast Clan warrior, but it doesn't seem overly perturbed by it. You leave a light wound on its shoulder, but you can definitely feel, the mass now of these creatures closing in around you as they seem to have you quite pinned down between the 2 of them and the third that is coming. And speaking of the third that is coming, let's roll the attack for that one. So can you give me a defense roll, please, Elindra, at a -1?
That's a success.
Okay, so the clan beast barreling towards you. I mean, it's got to find room in the among the beast clan warriors that are sort of striking at you, and it doesn't manage to do so. And it's just sort of ravening and drooling and trying to thrust at you between the larger forms of the beast clan warriors, and doesn't manage to hit you. However, one of them is going to dash straight towards Ascarai. Ascarai, give me a defense roll at -1, please, and presumably augmented by your Lindworm cloak.
That's on my armor roll. But
okay.
I do have better armor now, which has flexible. So my defense normally is 15, but now will be 14. I rolled a 4, so I made it.
Okay. The clan beast comes towards you, and you have plenty of time. You're stood a bit back from the edge, firing your arrows, and you just kind of, matador it to one side essentially, and it kind of tumbles down. But you are now engaged with it.
Okay.
So there we go. On to Beast Clan warriors, and on to Elindra. So your first defense against the warriors, please. It's a -5.
-5. Ooh, yep, just scrape that one.
Nice. And the second one?
Not so much, no.
Okay. Then give me an armor roll, please.
Armor is a D8. 3.
Okay. And I will roll for that goddamn poison. Fail, so it's all good. Yeah, one of the bone blades this time the male doesn't hold. It impacts in more or less the same place that you remember I described the ring popping earlier. It's left a bit of a gap, and the bone blade of one of the warriors kind of gouges it open, and you see delight in its semi-human eyes, still human enough to register the victory of an exchange of blows. And you don't know how badly you're wounded. You can barely feel it at the moment, but what you can feel is blood, kind of a sudden warmth spreading under your armor, like down the side of your abdomen and onto your waist. That is 3 toughness, please.
Okay.
And Beast Clan warrior on Antom now. So Antom, a defense roll at -5, please.
I don't like these -5s.
No one does. No. Armor roll then, please, and don't forget your blessed shield.
5.
Okay, not too shabby. It tumbles before you, and obviously you fought one of these before. You desperately try and backpedal, and it manages to scrape a line up your arm, but you feel none of the same horrible fiery tingling you had before. Perhaps it isn't poisoned, or perhaps it didn't apply it properly, but either way, you only take 1 toughness in damage.
I'll take it.
Steo.
Okay.
Striking at this thing, I assume, and that is an attack with no modifiers at the Beast Clan Guardian.
Once again, we need to get less than 15. We rolled a 17. Oh my goodness.
My word. Stuck in stalemate with this thing. Can you give me a defense roll? And I believe they're -5 as well, right? A defense roll at -5. I think so.
Yeah, because I was very happy with my 3 last time.
Yeah.
2! Statistically improbable stalemate.
You are locked in with this Beast Clan Guardian. You're definitely fully aware now. This thing is, the clan beasts are very. They seem to be just animals essentially. The Beast Clan warriors at least somewhat aware, but this this Guardian with the the 2-handed blade is something else. This is like fighting a fully sentient opponent. So clearly, whatever warped fleshcraft has been done to this one is light enough that it has retained its awareness and its combat skills problematically. Anton, we're on to you. After a fairly low damage round from the group, and I'm assuming you're going to strike out at this Beast Clan warrior.
Yeah, unsuccessfully, although I did roll an odd number, so
it's a +3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I rolled 1 for the damage.
Okay. Your flail is living up to its name. You stop it from striking out at you again, but you don't deal any significant wound or damage to it from what you can see. So, back round to the beginning. No extra enemies arrive at the rim of the sinkhole this round. You will be pleased to know. Askarai, you are now engaged in melee. I'm assuming you're switching to your dagger and trying to fight off this clan beast.
Yep. Gonna drop the bow, pull the dagger out, and see what we can do.
Absolutely.
Askarai, frustratingly effective at range and up close.
Why is that frustrating? We're all gonna die.
Whose side are you on, Chris?
Okay. This is a clan beast, right?
It is a clan beast, so you're at +5, yeah.
So I need anything but a 20 again. I got a 7. And then this is a D6 and a D4 for my feint ability.
You need anything but 20. Is your discreet at 15 as well?
No, it's at 13, but because you get the advantage from feint, you get 2. So
2 roll. You
get like a +2.
+2 on your attack roll. Yeah, of course. Because viewers, not satisfied with one ability that shifts attributes around, Askarai has Sixth Sight, which means he shoots on Vigilant, and Feint, which means he melee fights on Discreet, which are his 2 highest stats.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The one for Feint is only I can only use like small weapons, so I can't just like get a warhammer or something with my Discreet.
Yeah.
Anyway, for damage, I roll a total of 6.
Okay. Not bad at all. And in fact, over its pain threshold. So, free attack. Yep. Go ahead then, another roll at +5.
I think you're on mute.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, I rolled an 11 on my to hit, and for damage, I get 7.
Okay. What is your dagger damage?
It's I rolled a 6 on my d6 and a 1 on my d4.
Oh, you get the extra d4 for the feint, is that right?
Yeah.
Right, okay, I see. Yeah, the clan beast kind of comes towards you. You matadored it out of the way in the first place. It clambers back to its feet and comes for you again, and you do essentially the same trick again, only this time actually matadoring it. You grab the rim of your lindworm cape, you whip it round, it barrels past you and kind of blinks as the light reflects off the bluish greenish scales on the lindworm cape, and as it comes back, comes round you, you just turn your dagger in your other hand and plunge it hard twice into the creature's back, and it kind of sprawls on the ground, half lifts itself back up, and then with a kind of drops back to the ground dead. Askarai, the new Ephanea. I think it's safe to say. Elindra.
Yeah, I'm
carrying on working on the damaged one.
I mean, it was the first in the queue, so
absolutely, it would be rude not to.
Yeah.
So, why don't you give me a attack roll at a +3, please?
That's a lovely success there. I needed 18. I got a 4.
And the damage on that?
Damage 1.
Okay. Yeah, your sword kind of glances off the toughened flesh of the creature's body and does nothing. I think this has taught us a solid lesson in revenant striking before the battle begins. So we're on to the attacks of the clan beasts, and there's only one remaining, which is the one on Elindra. So if you make a defense roll at a -1, please.
-1. Yep, that's a success.
Okay. Again, it struggles to find its way through the 2 Beast Clan warriors ahead of it. And speaking of them, why don't you give me another defense roll at -5, please?
Why don't I, indeed?
It is in the rules, after all. A 1.
Yes.
That is a perfect defense. So you receive a free attack against it, and this is the wounded one.
Lovely.
So let's see if you can hurt it on its turn when you couldn't hurt it on your turn. So make an attack roll for me at +3, please.
That is a success.
And the damage?
5.
Okay. Well, death by 1,000 cuts. Again, you slice it cleanly but shallowly, and it's definitely getting infuriated with your attacks now. Maybe it's not sure if you're doing this on purpose to taunt it in a kind of display of expert swordsmanship that a villain might have a third of the way through the film. The second one is striking for you now. Make another defense roll at -5, please. And if we continue the trend of the first 2 turns, this will be the only one to hit you.
Yes.
Excellent.
Exactly.
So why don't you give me an armor roll, please?
Has this just been the same turn 4 times over?
It does seem that way, yes.
We're in Groundhog Fight.
I'm desperately trying to get us to a cliffhanger point to end the session, folks, but it might just have to be the end of this round.
On behalf of my dice, I apologise. I roll a 5 on the armor.
5 on the armor, and would that be that? No, it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, the poison that is on these creatures' bone blades does not take effect, and again, it does pierce your mail slightly, and you feel like an unpleasant stabbing sensation in your forearm, but it only deals 1 toughness.
Okay. Yeah, I much prefer the pleasant stabbing sensations, but
We all do.
this will have to suffice.
So the final Beast Clan warrior fighting Anton. So Anton, if you could give me a defense roll at a -5, please.
No, that's 19.
Statistically, sooner or later, one of these will do. But go ahead and give me an armor roll, please.
4.
Okay, well that's not bad. It's already struck for you. No, yeah. So,
but by the way, like this guy isn't an abomination, right?
it is not annoyingly. The clan beasts are abominations. Okay. The others count as human.
Yeah.
It's annoying, yes. The warrior strikes out for you and manages to jab you around the haft of your flail into into your ribs again near the other wound, and tears kind of the poultice open and leaves you a bit more vulnerable for 2 toughness. Not too bad. Not too bad. Steo.
Okay.
Please hit it.
3rd time's the charm, rolling.
Not even 3rd. You had a free attack on it.
Okay.
When engaging, and then your own attack.
Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. 15 or less. Come on, statistics. 13. Oh.
There we go. You've hit it. Roll your damage. You
9 plus
bastard.
1 is 10.
That's not bad.
Nice.
Not so bad. So let me just, because I don't actually have the stats for this one noted down.
Have little faith.
Yeah. What was that? How much damage was that again? 10?
10 in total.
Okay, that is not bad at all. Although you've missed its pain threshold by 1, which of course wouldn't have been the case last time. So there we go. Yes, you break the stalemate. It seems to have developed a sense of overconfidence and kind of comes towards you with great sweeping blows that you'd have from a long sword or a great sword. But you know how to handle this. And just for a moment, you slip back into your infantryman's stride, kind of jar the blade aside with the haft of your spear, stab out and gouge a great bleeding chunk out of where the neck meets the shoulder. It gives a howling curse, which you vaguely recognize as clan tongue, and then strikes for you. Roll your defense at a -5, please.
5 or less. 13.
Okay. What's your armor roll, please?
It is.
Oh, no, it ignores armor. Never mind.
What? Oh, dear.
Oh, and could you give me another defense roll, please, with no modifiers?
Okay. 12 is also a failure.
And could you give me... Yeah, do give me an armor check, sorry.
An armor check on the 2nd attack is a 7.
It is a 7, okay. So, here's what happens. So, what was... What was your initial... Oh, the first one ignores armor. No, that's fine, okay. So... Here's what happens. As your spear jabs back, a spray of gore from the tip of it kind of splashes back on you and splashes back on your plate. And as it does so, you just immediately smell this acrid, bitter tang on the air, and your vision becomes briefly obscured by a wisp of steam-like smoke coming off your armor. You kind of glance down at it and see pitting starting to appear as its blood runs down your breastplate and starts to scar your armor, but doesn't penetrate through it and doesn't get onto your body, crucially. But as you are distracted and do so, it gives a cry, leaps forward, swings round, and you feel your plate buckle and give at your side as a great crashing blow impacts. You don't think the sword comes through, but the plate buckling drives the metal into your body, and you feel like your side, you feel like a burst, like a popping of blood running down your flank. Take 6 toughness, please.
Oh my god, after a 7 on the D10?
And also, can you note for me that you have acid on you for another 2 rounds somewhere? And that seems like a good point to wrap up. So, a lot of combat. I know that. I hope people are enjoying watching that, because it's not something we're particularly used to, having like loads of combat in our Symbaroum games. But as you might detect, the beginning of Wrath of the Warden, pretty fighty heavy, right? But I feel like we've had some interesting developments as well, and we've had some little moments of role play in there. Met some old friends, so it's all good. If you've got any comments or questions, sling them in the chat, and John will pop them up on screen for us to discuss. We'll just drop the current initiative off. There we go. While you do that, as I say, comments and questions. Promo stuff. Look down below. There's links. YouTube, Twitch. You're watching on one, check out the other. There's our social media. There's our Discord. Come join us there. There's our Patreon. Go support us there. We run 3 weekly shows, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, each of them at 8 o'clock p.m. BST. Call of Cthulhu is on Mondays. Blades in the Dark is on Tuesdays. And Symbaroum is on Wednesdays. We do monthly one-shots on the first Saturday of every month as well. They're all available in VOD form over on our YouTube. Check them out, including the latest one, One Ring, which is slowly dropping its way in VOD form. We also do a fortnightly Symbaroum show on Sundays on the Free League Twitch. The finale of that is actually coming up, and that's this Sunday coming. That's on my promo. That's everything. That's everything done. Yes.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
You would have hit my pain threshold last week.
Oh, no, we can still apply it. It's fine.
No, you can't.
Would you mean hit it? Oh, I see what you mean. Your pain threshold is 6.
It's the old switcheroo, Matt. It's the old switcheroo.
It's the switcheroo. Cool. Is there anything to pop up, John? Yeah, anything there? One from Hot Beef Trauma. I don't know who that is. Throne of Thorns. Don't know what all the fuss is about, mate. Do you care? Would who wrote that care to step forward and explain?
So the context of that was when Ascarai was brutalizing everything with his arrows earlier on in the session.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that now, Mike?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I stand by it given the context, but
sure.
Bit
more intimidating now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little bit. Hey.
If Ascarai stepped up his game a little bit more, I'd feel like
I feel like this session has been a process of learning what all the fuss is about.
Yeah.
I think we've arrived now.
Yeah, like fighting 1 or 2 clan beasts. It's like, oh, yeah, this is fine. I can cut these guys down, and then holy shit, Thistlehold is being invaded by horrible demi-human monstrosities. We got anything else, John? 42, hey. Do PCs eventually become combat superheroes in this game? They definitely do. I think they're still vulnerable superheroes in a way that you don't probably maybe get as much in D&D or the combat-oriented games, but they're, definitely. And we're starting to see that already. Like, Ascarai is dishing out the DPS to an insane fashion. I think Elindra's capable of quite a lot of DPSs where it's just the Revenant Strike is sort of the key to upping that, I think.
At good dice rolls.
Yeah.
I also think the threat scaling effectively, like I'm the tank and that hit was 50% of my health pool.
Yeah, definitely.
So the threat is going up as well as our capability to answer it.
It just feels like it's just becoming generally deadlier for everybody. But
yeah. But I think you can build, like, I mean, I would say that we had a starting character combat superhero until, she died. But she didn't die according to the rules of the game. That's crucial. It was narrative death. So absolutely. Anything else? Are we good? We've had a couple of follows this evening and today. Thank you to Captain Toxdollar and Fragilitas for your follows. We appreciate it. And I think that's everything. Thank you to my players. We've run a little bit over tonight, but hopefully they don't mind. Thank you to our wonderful stream manager, John, and thank you to everyone watching. And we'll see you next week for more Symbaroum on Symbaroum Wednesdays. Take care and stay safe, everyone.